Good morning everybody, welcome back to my channel. It's Belinda here from Visualized NZ, back with a Deal It Up challenge to kickstart your week of creativity. So my 3 original packs of cards here, or suits of cards, and I'm going to pull a prompt from each of these of our original 3 sets. I thought, you know, just go a little bit retro. We're up to what, week 39. Please excuse me, I'm a little bit froggy. It's first thing in the morning. I'm filming really early because I didn't get this done over the weekend, so I'm recording this Monday and hoping to get it uploaded for you in time for the regular time. Okay, so journal card is our first prompt. If you're new here, welcome. I hope you enjoy the video. I hope you're inspired to jump in and give this little challenge a go. It's not a serious challenge. It's just a bit of light-hearted kickstart to your week. Like get your brain into creative thinking, have a play, and who doesn't need ephemera for their journals? If you're a journaler or a journal maker, there's always ephemera to make and to use. Okay, fibers. Okay, so there are our 2 prompts so far, and let's go for our third one and see what our third prompt is going to be. Oops, if I don't drop them all over the floor. Sorry, you probably can't even see me shuffling. I'm doing it quite close to me. Do apologise if I was off frame while I was doing that. And vintage. Okay, we can work with that, can't we? So journal card, fibers, and vintage. So first off, I need a base for a journal card. And I think I've got this collaged piece here that's with all sorts of vintage book pages, and I've put a bit of watercolour splashed around it. So I think that's going to be my base for my journal card. Nice and simple. Really good to have a masterboard cut into pieces ready to go. If you don't, it's quite handy. Fibers. Wow. I have these beautiful fibers. Sorry about the rustle of the paper bag there. That was sent to me in a happy mail. Thank you, dear Lisa. This gold one might be really nice for vintage. So let's go with that one. I'll keep the others out just in case I change my mind on what colour to go with. But at the moment, this is giving me that sort of vintage, almost Hollywood 50s vibe. So that's going to be my fibres. Now we need to just go ahead and do the journal card. So vintage. What vintage elements might I like to include? Well, that's a question and a half. My brain's going tick, 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 tick. And sorry, I'm just reaching for a container that's on the bottom of the stack to see. Oh, bother. I have a vintage car stamp, rubber stamp. And I thought it might have been in this container, but it's not, which means it's not accessible to me at the moment. So that's my first thought that's kind of fallen flat, but I see something else that might work. This set here, herbarium specimen stamps with little vials and florals. Maybe we can use that. I don't know if I've used this set. I picked it up secondhand off Facebook. Don't know that I've actually used it. So maybe we should use that. And that kind of gives me a vintage vibe. Right. So we'll need some ink. Oops, if I open the right drawer. Don't need a block because we're all good on that. Now what colour might I like to use? I think black. Yeah, I think black. Black should be good. Just wondering about stamping them on some old book page. Let's see if I can grab out enough scraps. They don't have to match. There's a bit of coffee dyed paper, we might use that. In fact, I think it's probably better if they don't all match. There's another bit of book page. How many have we got? We've got 5 florals, so do we want to do all 5? Why not? Let's give them all a test run. So obviously we're going to have to double up on the vials because there's only 2 vials. That's okay. That wee scrap might be big enough. And that one, I think they're all, those ones are the same book they're from. What else? And that's not wide enough. Sorry, I know you can't see me. I'm just digging in my bag of strips, coffee dyed and book page strips. It's a bit hard to hold it up to where you can see it and actually see what I'm doing. Here's a bit of a trim off of some stone. It's quite heavy paper. It's got like a stony fleck in it. And there's another bit of it that's been coffee dyed. So I think we've got enough. Okay. So I'm just going to pop my journal card out the way and pop these bins back up so they're out my way up there. Right, now I feel like I've got a bit more room back. So these stamps, speak out your wishes, please. There's got some Asian, probably Chinese characters on it. So I don't know where the original person got it from. I just picked it up secondhand. So let's have a play. I will need a baby wipe probably for wiping off my stamps. So let me grab that. Get all prepared here. Right, I think we're good to go. If we're not, well, we'll work it out as we go along. Right, so let's start with this piece. And so what do I want? So one I'll have to do 3 and one I'll have to do 2 of the vials. So which one do I like better? Perhaps let's stamp them and then see which we like better. And whichever one I like better, I'll do 3 of. How's that? Oh, I do like that one. I'm going to go do 2 of that because I need at least 2 of each one. It says, I think it says chill on the label of that one. I'm not sure whether it's chill or chilly. Oops, that one didn't stamp so well, but that's okay. Just enhances that vintagey look. It's not perfect. Okay, let's do this one. I think I'm going to have a hard time deciding which one I like better, actually. Oh, yes, tough. I think I'll do 3 of this one, though. Just because. Oh, it is hard, though. I like them both. But I'm cleaning off this one so we can pop that back in the box. And this one, let's go this bit of paper, the stony fleck one with the coffee dyeing on it. There we go. I hope you all had a fabulous weekend, my friends. Was it nice and relaxing, or energetic and busy, full of family and friends, or going places? What was my weekend like? Gosh, it's only like yesterday. Right, now here's the trick, is fitting these inside. I'm just going to go for it. yeah, so my weekend was pretty low-key. Went to town on Saturday to the city to return my loan equipment after surgery. So all I've got now are the crutches, and the wheelchair is being picked up today because that was from a different place. So that was Saturday, and we did a bit of shopping and picked up, you know, a few groceries, bits and pieces like that. So it was really handy to have the wheelchair, so I wasn't walking around a whole lot of stores, because that would have just killed me. Not literally killed me, you know, but would have been quite painful, I think, by the end. And we got home in mid-afternoon, just had a quiet afternoon after that. And then Sunday was church, and then my brother popped around in the afternoon yesterday to take a look at one of the cars we've got, which is playing up. It's not actually our car, it's my mum's and stepfather's car. So he popped around to see if he could see what was going on with that, and yes, he was able to help us, and it's not a bigger issue as what was suspected. So that's good news. And then, yeah, then it was just like TV, movies, relaxing, all that sort of jazz, you know, quiet. But it wasn't uneventful. We had lunch out at the hospital cafeteria on the Saturday, and they don't have the full meals they do during the week, so I had a lasagna topper, and my hubby had pies, and it was just nice and relaxed, really relaxed day. Okay, so we have 2 more to go. I'm really liking these, and they're actually not too bad to line up in their little vials, which is good. Just wait till I muck up now that I've said that. No, that's okay. I thought this one's actually shorter. That vial is shorter, so I thought it might have gone over the edge, but it didn't. But I did manage to get the edges pressed onto the paper, which is fine. It's not an issue. It's all good. Right, and our last one here. I could actually stick these upside down even. Like, you know, you've poked the flower head in first. Would be another way to do it. Oops, and I did go outside with that one, but again, it's okay because I'm going to fussy cut these out, I think. And even if I wasn't, it would still be okay. I wouldn't be upset. Right. Get the wet wipe out of my way so I don't get a wet sleeve or something. Okay, let's grab my scissors. And do I want to fussy cut? I think that, excuse me, going to be quite easy, so yes. And I do actually want to fussy cut. I don't think I want to kiss cut, so oops, and I'm trimming right into the stamp. Oh wow. Feeling very loose this morning in terms of my carefulness. It's like, oh yeah, no, that'll be fine. That's all good. Close is close enough. And no one's going to know. You know, if I'd taken a big chunk out, then yes, people would know. But if I've just trimmed off some of the edge of the stamp, nobody is going to know. And it doesn't affect the look. So I'm being quite cavalier. So, didn't take too long, did it? Let's just quietly whip these all out. Yeah, so that was my weekend. That's also what we did on Saturday while we were at the hospital, is we've got a friend, elderly friend, who broke her femur last weekend, so we were in there anyway, so we visited her, and that was really lovely. Gave her a surprise, a welcome surprise. But unfortunately, that evening of the day that we visited, she had a medical emergency and ended up being transferred hospitals and going back into surgery. Nothing to do with her leg, her broken femur. That's all, got a rod in it and everything, and was on the way to healing. But other things cropped up, and so she ended up in hospital. Well, she was already in hospital, but in a different hospital, having more surgery and 4 blood transfusions. Can you believe that? 4 blood transfusions. So this dear, sweet, sweet lady is not feeling so great at the moment. So that wasn't wonderful to hear on the Sunday morning, that she had taken so poorly since we saw her just, hours previous. And no, it wasn't anything to do with us. Just in case you were thinking that we'd, somehow upset the apple cart. No, 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 no. No, she lives in the same town as us, and we've known her for years and years and years. And it was just really lovely to give her a visitor, because she's going to be in hospital for quite some time, at least 2 weeks, while she recovers from this break in her leg, and now with these further complications, with the needing the transfusion and the operation. So yes, so that was a part of our Saturday as well. So yes, I would say it's actually was quite an eventful day on Saturday, really. And my husband did so well fitting all the equipment in the car to take back, because there was a lot of it. But unlike when I came out of hospital and we had all our luggage as well, this time we didn't have the luggage, so everything fitted in. And one of the shops, or 2 of the shops that we went to, are ones that are closing. They're both in a big chain of stores, and it's just this particular location that's closing their branches of it. And so they both had like clearance deals, and then 50% off the clearance sticker. Oh man. Just like, one was a stationery store called Warehouse Stationery. So that's where I spent a bit of money. But for $10, I walked out with quite a number of things. And the other store, the Warehouse, the craft stuff basically wasn't on clearance. It was just normal price. There were a few bits and pieces, but nothing that really sang to me. So I bought a dress that was on clearance for $30. And so I got it for half price at $15, and I thought it was worth a chance, because it's a size smaller than what I am, or what I think I am. And I tried it on once I got home, and you know what? It fits. So that made me super happy. It's a summer dress, so like I won't be wearing it till summer, and I might be even smaller by summer, hopefully. And it's really pretty. It's pink. It's pink, and it's got a few frills and, nice stuff. So I was happy with that. For $15, I think I got a bargain, and it fitted. So, if it didn't fit, then I was quite prepared that it could just be fabric to use in journals, because who can be sad about having fabric to use in your journals? Excuse me, my nose is going with the early morningness of it. Because it's a check, pink and black check. Pink, black and white check, I guess. Right, I think I'm going around the corners on this. So yeah, that was happy. And then in the stationery shop, their diaries that I had been picking up for like $1 on clearance were finally marked down to 7 cents, and all the good ones were gone. But for 7 cents, the amount of paper in them, even if I don't like what's on them, I couldn't pass it up. So I grabbed a couple of diaries for 7 cents each. And I bought some pens that were marked down from like $5 or $6, and I got those for $1.50 each. What else did I get? I just, in a side while I am making, some 6x6 paper pads for like $1.50, $2 each. All sorts of little bits and pieces. So that was a lot of fun. What I am annoyed about was they had some titanium scissor sets, craft scissors, in 3 different sizes in the set. Titanium, would you believe it? Titanium. And they were $3.50 a set. And I saw them at the beginning of the shop and I thought, right, I'll grab those as I come back round to the counter, because with crutches it's very difficult to carry. And I forgot. And it wasn't until I got home it was like, oh, I forgot the scissors. And it's, you know, it's not easy to duck back there and get them. It's like 40 minutes away from where I live. Right, I need to lift those out of the background. So, I'm digging for something in my bin here. If I can find it. Yep, here it is. I'm going to use some pattern paper, because pattern paper, the brown one, gives me very vintage vibes, just purely because of the colour. That one's got some interesting bits and pieces on it. Is it big enough? I've obviously already ripped into this. Let's see what else we've got. Oh, this has got... Oh, this is a piece from when I was colouring pattern paper with ink. So it looked like blood for a minute. I was like, oh no, it's okay, it's ink. Could perhaps go this top bit. It's not terribly exciting, but it has got some stuff on it. Definitely not going to try and fold that all up on camera. Right, so let's scoot these out of the way. I think they're going to look really cool though. I don't want the straight edge, so let's try and... Oops. Lost some detail, never mind. Ah, that's actually upside down. It needs to go that way. So if I trim it off the edge, that's fine. Yep, so let's go about here. It just will tone down that background a little bit and allow our little vials, our little floral specimen vials, just to stand out a little bit more. See how they just pop out stand out, are more visible, totally more visible. Right, am I going to glue this or the tissue? Tissue's a bit of a risk, putting the glue straight on the tissue. I think I'm gonna try and get underneath onto the journal card and get all the areas. Under there. So the rest of the time when I was home, I was catching up on some journaling. August is starting to look not too bad. I couldn't believe how far behind I was, and we're only at the beginning of the month, so I'm still, would you believe, I'm still a few days behind. I spent a lot of time fussy cutting out printables, just doing all those sort of administration tasks almost for journaling, things that you need to do. You don't, sit down and fussy cut a whole kit on camera, so it all has to be done at some point. So I did a lot of that, which I enjoy fussy cutting, so it was nice, and I interspersed it with the journaling, so I wasn't just like hours and hours of fussy cutting. I'd do a bit of fussy cutting, do a bit of journaling, backwards and forwards, and amongst the TV watching and the movie watching and stuff like that. Okay, do I want to ink around these? I'm thinking again that it would help to pop them out. So I am going to use my vintage photo and just give them not a heavy ink, but just a run around with my sponge. Whoops, can't ink it on the lid. what did I put my sponge down on the other day and trying to ink it up? It was something completely different, and when I realised I gave myself a giggle because I wasn't recording, and I just, you know, saw something out of the corner of my eye that was squarish and just popped my sponge down and went to dab it to get more ink on it. I was like, it's not even the ink pad or the lid to the ink pad. It was something completely different. I can't remember what it was. Funny. Just one of those random little oopsie moments when you realise you've done something that's not ever going to work on any level. Yeah, I can't remember what I put it on top of now. Must have been some random bit of something that I just happened to have sitting. While we're here, we might as well do around that journal card, eh? Get that done. So I'll go heavier around this. Give it a nice dark edge. It's quite a thin journal card, this one. So it'd be a really good one for if you don't want to bulk up a journal or don't want to make things too heavy. You know, there's a place for lighter, less stable journal cards, I believe. And it's an interesting size, this. It's not a standard size. So let's have a look at how big it is. It is 6 5/8, I think, and just under 4 inches. So it's not too far off standard, but just a little bit taller than what you would perhaps normally have in a journal card. And I like doing odd sizes. So I'm going to start in the middle so I can try and evenly space the 5 of them. And if it doesn't work perfectly, well, that's all good. Oops, getting clumps of glue on my fingers. Actually, I need to start with one of these since I've got 3 of this shape. So I need this one to be the middle one. So I'm looking at the shape and also the colours, various colours of the paper that I've got. So I'm going to go, that's about middle. Then this one, hopefully the glue is still wet enough to stick down. Okay, I'm going to end up covering most of that text, but c'est la vie. And I don't know if I'm using that expression correctly. It just flew off my tongue. So if I was using it incorrectly, I don't speak foreign languages, so don't mind me. It just sounded cool. Right, and I think this lighter one will go on this end. I'm sure I must have been getting it semi-correct because, I don't know, it's just flew off the tongue as if it was like normal. It's definitely not normal for me. I do know some Spanish because my husband and I have done a little bit of study of Spanish because I love Spanish. Spanish language, anything Spanish really. But yeah, apart from that, and a few words in Maori, I guess. But I'm not a huge foreign language person because we don't get taught it. Well, not when I went to school, we didn't get taught it. Apart from a small amount of Maori, like colours, and a couple of little rhymey songs that we did in Maori, and numbers. And that's all we learnt when I was at school. And then I did a little bit at high school. I took 6 months and did some study, but I can't remember basically much, if any, of what I learnt then. How's that for schooling? And then just what I've picked up as an adult, and you know, you kind of just by osmosis, I guess, like c'est la vie. I haven't learnt that. I've just picked it up from exposure to different cultures, to the internet, to TV, you know, and probably even in books. I don't read as much as I used to, Now I thought we might go with a little label if I've got room, because I've got these wee Apothecary labels from Printables by MartiJo on Etsy. Oh, this could be, one of these might be good. Glass, handle with care. That could be quite fitting, couldn't it? We've also got for outward application, shake well before using. Well, we're probably not, oops, sorry, just knocked the camera. Probably not going to shake these bottles, are we? Maybe we could put one up there and one down there. I like that. Let's go with that. So, yes, Printables by MartiJo is where these are from. There's quite a number of pages of these labels in the kit of different shapes and sizes and things on them. Right, I think I need to change out my glue page. It was getting a bit goopy. So I think those are quite fun. And so we've got our fibres still to put on, and I think the one I've picked out will work perfectly. I've just got to work out what I want to do with it, how I'm going to use it. There we go. I'm liking that. Now our fibres. And I kind of haven't composed it or anything with keeping the need to add fibres in mind. I could just do like a line there. Or strip down one end. Kind of like a cross. Or we could go diagonally like this. Well, semi, you know, on an angle. No, not so fussed with that. I think straight across is actually making my eye happiest. So I'm going to trim a little bit longer than what I need, because I'm going to lose a bit from the bits coming off. And then once it's glued on, I'll trim it to the edges. Right, glue. I would normally use alcohol glue, but I'm going to use my tacky glue just so I get a fine line, because this has got a finer tip than my alcohol glue. I've had problems with this one clogging, so I'm just trying to make sure I'm not clogged up with the tip. Oh, and I might still have to go in with a pin because there's nothing coming out. Oh, trying to grab my pin container. Here we go. Oops, inside the tip. Such a small opening to try and get the pin in. Right, let's try it again. Actually, do I want it underneath? Could be like a little shelf that they're standing on. Okay, let's put it along the bottom of the vials. There we go. Now we got glue. Okay, they're not all lined up. It's okay. Our little trim is going to hide that fact pretty much. Right, and oops, boing. Pat it down into the glue. Oops, I think I need a little bit more at the end there. And that should hold it fine because it's not a heavy trim or anything, so it should be perfectly adequate with the tacky glue. And then we've got a little bit of frizzy texture going on there, and we can still read our label underneath here, under the little eyelashes. These ones possibly should be hanging down rather than sticking up, but I don't mind that. I think that's actually just a bit of fun. A few down here as well. There is my vintage inspired journal card with fibres. So that's what I've made for today's Deal It Up challenge. What are you going to make? What's yours going to look like? I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope you enjoy the project and the challenge. I'd love for you to participate. If you find a spare 5 or 10 minutes, why not jump on and give it a go? If you'd like to share what you've made, then you can tag on Instagram. You can tag the Deal It Up challenge so I can find it, or you can pop into the Facebook group Visual Vibes and post a photo in there. Would be more than happy to welcome you posting your photos in there, so we can all enjoy and see what you've done with this challenge. I've got some other subbies that post in there what they've made for the challenge, and another lady, Susan from I Totally Love It, who does a video on these challenges as well. Once I've released them, she does her own take on it and posts those on her channel. So yeah, so do connect up. I'd love to see what you make. Love to say hello, and let's hang out a bit. Don't forget to like the video, and if you want to see more, do hit that subscribe button. I'd love to see you more regularly. Have a great day, my friends. Have a great week, and I will see you back again with Trashcraft Tuesday coming up tomorrow. Okay, guys, take care. Bye.